animals standing on an almost vertical rock. These animals are real goats who are forced to climb so high for a number of reasons. But why don't they fall? And why do they need to do it? Let's figure it out. The fast and agile goats are probably the best climbers in the entire natural world. These even-toed ungulates aren't afraid of steep slopes and breathtaking heights of the cliff. They are great at climbing vertical mountain ranges without falling. Evolution endowed these inhabitants of the mountains of Asia, Europe, and Africa with a unique body structure. While their climbing abilities could be envied by even the most experienced climbing professionals. Mother Nature has provided these goats with special characteristics, and therefore, these amazing mammals can easily handle the hardships of living on mountain steppes. They live where the air temperature drops, where there are numerous terrible cliffs, and where the only delicacy they can get is a rare patch of plants. The local lords of the cliff are distinguished by their enormous strength and enviable endurance. 5,000 meters above sea level, such unbelievable heights can also be inhabited by these animals. By the way, the closest relatives of these fearless even-toed ungulates are the mountain sheep, while their more distant relatives include long-tailed gorals, chamois, and mountain goats. Mountain goats live up to their name. They are snow-white animals, although some of them can have a grayish coat. Their small horns and white coats make them look a lot like domestic goats, but the similarity ends there. The mountain goats are very aggressive. These animals are considered the largest of the mountain mammals. Their height at the withers is 90 to 105 centimeters, and their weight is 56 to 81 kilograms. Long, surprisingly beautiful, and thick wool covers them like a fur coat. This fur coat allows them to withstand both the low winter temperatures, up to -50 degrees Celsius, and the strongest of winds. Researchers divide goats into several subspecies. The largest individuals grow up to a height of 1 meter at the withers, while their length reaches up to 180 centimeters. Some of them are endowed with graceful horns, while others are the owners of luxurious, slightly rounded, huge horns. As the males grow older, their horns continue to grow, reaching the size of 1 meter or even more. Goats are polygamous animals that live in herds. Adult males prefer to live apart, only joining the females during the mating period. Rivals often fight each other. To have a chance of winning such a fight and having its own herd, the male must be at least 6 years old. The female goats hold a dominating position, so the males have developed an unusual mating behavior. They sit on the ground on their hind legs and dig a hole with their front legs.
Warning, you could soon lose your job because of what's happening inside this building you see behind.
During the courtship, the male walks behind the female on half-bent legs with its tongue hanging out of its mouth, thereby demonstrating humility. An equally amazing sight is goats fighting. The two animals just don't clash their horns, they're also jumping, flipping in the air, and rushing off ledges. Sometimes, especially during a fierce fight, the winner pushes its opponent off the cliff. Moreover, the way goats move in a fight is somewhat reminiscent of dancing. These goats are simply made for mountain life. Short, strong legs help them get up and jump over uneven ground. Strong male climbers with muscular legs and broad hooves can weigh over 120 kilograms, while females usually weigh around 60 to 90 kilograms. These goats aren't afraid of severe frosts or snowstorms. Like any climber, they are adapted to doing long jumps every day thanks to their hooves designed by nature itself. Their hooves have 2 widely spaced toes that improve balance on any uneven surface. Moreover, their rough, spongy finger pads provide good traction on a smooth surface. There's hair growing between the toes of the goat's hooves for even better traction. Thus, their unusual hooves allow them to climb extremely steep and uneven peaks. Equally important are their exceptional sense of balance, great coordination of movements, and sharp eyesight. These mountain animals are characterized by perky jumps. Even a tiny stone is enough for a mountain goat to put a hoof on. If the animal has climbed into a dead end and there's nowhere to go further, then it simply jumps down. If there is no platform below where it can stay, it jumps further and further down, pushing off the stone walls. These animals can turn during the jump to get a suitable ledge. They don't stop jumping until they can stand firmly on the rocky surface. Of course, such daily workouts make their legs strong and powerful. After all, these animals start running and jumping on the rocks early on in their lives. The speed and maneuverability of their movements allow the inhabitants of the mountain peaks to travel considerable distances in search of food and quickly escape birds of prey, wolves, or snow leopards. Catching up with such fast animals, especially on their own territory, is very difficult even for the unsurpassed mountain hunter such as the snow leopard, because the goats are very careful and can rush off quickly. Thus, the predators need to work hard to catch such large prey. However, the snow leopards aren't usually inferior to the goats in their dexterity, so they do end up with the prey once in a while. Bears aren't as lucky because they're in an even more disadvantageous position. They aren't as fast, and so the goats can easily run away from them, even with kids. However, if evaluated for their own merits, the bears have very good speed, especially over rough terrain. But still, their only chance is to catch the goats by driving them into a trap. Although, even in such a situation, the goats use their hooves to climb further than the bear can reach, so the bear often simply leaves empty-handed. The situation with the eagles isn't as simple though, because their unexpected attacks often take the herd by surprise, especially the young individuals. The eagle can even grab and lift a small goat into the sky. If the prey is larger, such a trick won't work. Moreover, the goats don't give up easily. They run, jump, squirm, roll over. They do everything in their power to stay alive. Humans also pose a threat to the goats, as hunting is legal in many of the states that these animals call home. That's why goats feel safer high in the mountains. But there's another rather serious threat these beautiful mountain animals face. This enemy doesn't have teeth or claws, but is no less dangerous. It's the snow avalanche. These animals are powerless against the natural element. Avalanches claim more lives of goats than all the predators combined. These goats got into